Now, energy bills have been in the news recently. There's been two issues that we've had some questions from members on. One is about the government's talking about breaking the link between gas prices and electricity prices, and people want to know what impact might there be on Ripple for that. And another one is, as the energy price cap has moved to quarterly basis, is there scope for Ripple's savings to be fixed on a quarterly basis too? So going to the first issue first, you just said at the moment, the government is suggesting that in order to break the link between gas prices and electricity prices, that renewable generators could be offered contracts for difference. And that basically means if the price is really high, if the price is above the contract price, then the generator, so the Ripple members, would pay back the difference. If it's below the contract price, then it's sort of a subsidy up to that level. But the net effect would be, if Ripple projects were impacted by this, that the rate of savings, instead of going up and down every year with the electricity price, the rate of savings would be a lot more stable over the period that's covered by the contract. But there's one thing, we were hoping for a bit more detail this week in terms of which projects would be covered. It seems likely that only projects covered by the renewables obligation, which is the previous subsidy mechanism that started in about 2002, I think. So only projects which were supported by the renewables obligation are likely to be affected, as well as nuclear plants. In which case, Ripple projects wouldn't be affected, and it would just carry on as normal. Now, we've asked BEIS for more clarity. We were hoping for a bit more clarity this week, but it hasn't been, that level of detail hasn't yet been published. So we'll obviously update you and let you know if we hear anything else. But I think two things to consider is, it looks like it being a voluntary scheme, in which case the price that people would set the contracts for would need to reflect the cost, the value that they could get in the market over the longer term. Otherwise, why would you sign a contract? So it's unlikely that it would be imposed on people, but also it's looking unlikely at this stage that it would be Ripple projects that would be affected. It's looking like that it's more likely to be RO projects, but obviously we don't know until we get the details. So the second point was about moving to quarterly prices in terms of the savings rate. So what we're looking at the moment, for simplicity, to try and get people used to the Ripple model, we fixed the price on an annual basis. Now, when we fixed it back in late 2021, the price was, we thought, absolutely fantastic, but it went up even further afterwards. So the saving rate that people got was 9.6 pence, which covers the whole, which applies across the whole of the first 12 months of operation. Now, that 12 months of operation will end at the beginning of March, so we need to set the price again. So we're in discussions about how we do that. And one thing that we're considering is moving to a quarterly basis. So instead of fixing the price and therefore the saving rate for a whole year, we would fix it on a quarterly basis. So every 3 months we would fix the price. This would enable the saving rate you get to sort of more closely track the wholesale price, which is what is used to set the price cap. So you could kind of get a more granular and sort of a better track to the electricity price. Obviously, the impact of that, as prices come down, is that the savings would come down more quickly, rather than if you fix them for a whole year, you get that level of saving for the whole year. So it's something, because it's a departure from what was set out in the share offer document, we will need to get members' approval to make that change. So at the moment we're looking at, if the change is possible, if so, what could the benefits be, what would be the disadvantages, and then we'll settle that out and put it to a vote at the very rather AGM, which will be coming up shortly. So that's a very quick whistle-stop tour of those two issues. We'll obviously keep you updated with any developments as we get them. Thank you.